Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to WrestlingHistoX, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
And I'm Michael.
Welcome to episode 366, Best of the Super Juniors 6. Woo, 6.
Yeah, I'm happy for it. It's New Japan. They do tours. There's no taglines for these things. Maybe if there is on a DVD or like a pay-per-view, but this is a tournament that goes over the course of a month or more, depending on the year.
Yeah, this is the 6th Best of the Super Juniors, produced by New Japan Pro Wrestling. It would take place from May 19th to June 8th, 1999, from different places in Japan, with attendance ranging from 1,500 people to 13,600 for the final night.
Yeah. You know that 13,000 is in Tokyo.
Yes. But something that would happen right around the same time as this tournament, we were told to behave in Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, as it would come out the next weekend.
The first one or the second one?
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah. No one went and saw it in the theater.
No, nobody saw this in the theater. I saw it on video,
and
I fell in love with it and became
Absolutely.
Obsessed with it. And then I have a more specific memory to when the second one came out, which I will keep to myself for now. But it's funny how huge these movies became, considering the first one was just kind of lived on videotape.
Yeah.
And it's the magic of rental stores and word of mouth that no longer exists because everything's over. There's too many shows, too many movies, too many streaming services.
I mean, there's you can get word of mouth,
but it doesn't mean much.
Literally, if you don't hear about it the first weekend,
it disappears.
It just disappears.
There's no staying power.
Yeah.
For any for just about any art at this point. But
actually, you know what? I said that. This thing made $54 million the first weekend.
Oh.
And it made 313 worldwide. I do not remember this movie in the theater.
Is that including being like replayed in theaters? But I guess it wouldn't get a lot of replays in theaters. That seems crazy.
Because I don't remember this movie until it hit VHS.
The second one I remember being a huge deal.
I was in the theater opening night for the second one.
But yeah.
Wow.
But I think that back then that wasn't like everybody went to if you went to the movies in 1999 on a Friday on a weekend, like it was packed.
I mean, yeah.
So movies just made more money back then. And then it lived on VHS to only make more.
I'm sorry. This is the second one.
Is it?
Yes.
International Man of
Mystery is the first one. This makes more sense. This is why we should do more research before we talk about these things.
It's okay.
Because the first one
didn't do very well.
Only made $67 million. Total.
Yeah.
This
one made almost that in its opening weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel better that I'm not going crazy. We just had them mixed up.
Yeah.
Because this is the one with Heather Graham.
Yes. And you know what's crazy? I've never seen all of the third one. Because by the time the third one came out, I didn't care anymore. Because I was at that weird age where, like, you become bitter and don't care about things. But in retrospect, I thought the second one was the best movie. The first one's still the best.
I mean, the first one, I think, has more genuine ideas. The second one has to basically play the greatest hits. And it adds a few new things.
But it kind of loses a little bit of him as a complete character.
Yeah.
And becomes more about the jokes in the same way that like a scary movie or whatever would do. Even though still more contained than that, but less contained than the first film. But first two, very, very funny. Third one, I've still never seen. Do you have opinions on Goldmember?
I didn't like it as much, but it's fine.
It's diminishing returns. Like, who's going to think the third one's the best one? I thought the second one was the best one, and I rewatched the first two a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh, wow, this first one is, like, really solid. But that's me watching it as an adult and understanding nuance and not just laughing at dick and fart jokes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I just rewatched the first one here recently, at least within like the last 6 months or so. But yeah, I mean, and I was completely entertained while watching the first one. But I mean, like we said, the second one is great as well.
Very, very funny.
I feel kind of dumb still.
Yeah, it's okay. I did the same thing. I was like, wait, is this the first one, the second one? And then you're like, this is the second one. I was like, oh. And then I remembered the name immediately of the first film. So whatever. It's Austin Powers. If you're under 30, don't watch it because you'll hate it. Because that's how it goes with comedies for the most part.
That's true. If you're under 30, tell us what comedies you do like. Cause
they don't like any of them. They don't watch any of them.
What good comedies have come out in the last 25 years?
Hot Rod.
Well, Pop Star. Never Stop.
Well, yeah, same team. But yeah.
Actually, I didn't like Hot Rod the first time I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
But I like almost all their other movies.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But Hot Rod is good.
I've rewatched it recently, and I like it much
I need to rewatch MacGruber because I didn't like MacGruber.
Yeah, I didn't like MacGruber. I love MacGruber, the skit on Saturday Night Live.
I never seen the skit when I watched the movie.
Literally, probably one of my favorite skits they ever did on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Watched the movie, and I was just like,
but
I don't like this.
People adore the movie, and I haven't rewatched it, and maybe I'll
it gets talked about like it's one of the best comedies of the last 20 years, and I'm just like, wow. But the thing with comedy, it's so subjective that like we can both think something's funny, but like not the same thing. Or we can watch the same thing and
there's so much comedy that I like can't stand to the point where like I am offended that people think it's funny, but it makes more money than anything that I enjoy. So it's all about taste.
Well, let's talk some junior heavyweights. So this year's tournament had 12 wrestlers separated into 2 blocks. Dr. Wagner Jr., El Samurai, Gran Hamada, Jushin Thunder Liger, Kendo Kashin, Koji Kanemoto, Masaaki Mochizuki, Masao Urahara, Minoru Tanaka, Shinjiro Ohtani, Super Shocker.
Who the hell is Super Shocker?
And Tatsuhito Takawa. And fortunately for us, we were able to find like 3 random matches.
It's kind of unfortunate because we love this show, but it's also fortunate because it would be a bummer if we didn't find any of it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Because literally, I could not find the final for the longest time.
Until like a week or 2 ago?
And then literally, it was like a week ago.
Yeah.
I looked under a different heading on New Japan World.
Best app in the world. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's like the search engine is not good on that app.
I mean, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that they're using like a translation software that's just not going to be very accurate.
Because you would think you'd be able to put 1999 in, and it would just bring up everything from 1999.
Nope, you have to do Best of the Super Juniors spelled out. Yeah. Not BOSJ. You have to spell out Best of the Super Juniors and then do a V and an I. Yeah. And then it comes up.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
So like literally, because I kept looking under 1999 and it was not there.
No. I even checked archive, and I found a whole.
Basically, all I could find originally was like a 3-minute video that was on YouTube.
It's like
that
highlight.
Literally, no, it just showed the first 2 minutes of the match and then just went to black. And I was just like, this video on YouTube is not that old. It should be on New Japan World.
I even found a playlist of, I won't spoil it, one of the 2 contestants of the final. It was just matches of theirs from 1999, and it was a playlist on archive.org, and it had and it did not have that match on it.
Yeah.
Even though it was like 25 matches only from that year, and all of them had him either in a singles match or in a tag match from that year.
But luckily, we did find the final. It is on New Japan World, so if you have that app, the best way to find it is if you scroll down to the bottom on the main page. There's all the Best of Super Juniors are down there, and then you just scroll over to Best of Super Junior 6. And there's literally 2 matches from that year. One's a tag match that's not the juniors.
Yeah, it's like the undercard match.
And then the final. So you know where to find it.
That being said, here's some of the matches that we did find in other random places. The first match, Koji Kanemoto versus Masaaki Mochizuki. And this match would take place on May 19th, which was day 1 of the tournament, in Kuki Satayama at the Kuki City Gymnasium, with an attendance of 3,000 people. And the last time we saw Masaaki was at Super J Cup's second stage, episode 175, and Kanemoto at Wrestling World 99, episode 340. Yeah, Masaaki getting pulled into this tournament as he is not a regular New Japan wrestler.
Correct. So we get traded kicks to feel each other out to begin, when Koji would take his opponent to a corner with knees and stomps, only for Mochizuki to fight his way free by sweeping the leg. More kicks by Masaaki, but Kanemoto takes down Mochizuki into a leg bar, forcing him to grab the ropes to break the hold, only for Koji to stay on the attack with stomps and snapmares. Masaaki retaliates with stomps and a chinlock until Kanemoto reverses into a side headlock, until being shoved off, allowing Mochizuki to nail a spinning back kick that sends Koji to the outside. And as Kanemoto makes his way back to the apron, Masaaki hits a springboard dropkick to knock his opponent down, and bringing him back in to deliver a brainbuster for a 2 count. Now back to the chin lock to wear down Koji, when Kanemoto counters into an ankle lock, which Mochizuki struggles to free himself at first, but finally makes the ropes.
We might be blasting through this, but this is high tension Japanese wrestling with a hot crowd. Both these men have things to prove, and they're all digging in.
Koji with more strikes and chokes to control the match, followed by a body slam and flying off the second rope with a corkscrew senton. But Masaaki avoids, rallying with stiff kicks and a spinning heel kick into a corner. Now more exchange strikes with Kanemoto blocking everything, only to whip his opponent to the ropes and catching him with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Oof. Koji sends Mochizuki into a corner, but he charges into a big boot, with Masaaki heading to the apron to springboard in with a dropkick, before dropping Kanemoto with an overhead belly-to-belly. Mochizuki nails a Shinshaku high kick and goes to the apron again for a springboard spinning heel kick for the pin. And no, Koji kicks out. Both men go for roundhouse kicks to the head, which knocks them both down for the double KO.
I mean, beautiful spot. They both hit spin kicks to the head, in sync, and fall to the mat. Wonderful stuff.
With Kanemoto back up first to hit an overhead belly-to-belly. But Masaaki flips through and delivers another spinning heel kick that sends his opponent into the corner, where Mochizuki grabs Koji to nail a dragon suplex for a near fall.
And this is the point where, when you go to a wrestling show and people are you paid to have a wrestling match, or just having a fine wrestling match, and then people say this is wrestling because they're bored. Those people are idiots. But this is the moment in this match where I go, this is where that chant...
This works.
This is where the chant's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
This is a Japanese crowd. They don't do that chant. But at this point in this match, I am stoked, and I say, oh, all those things that we talk about every week, and we're like analyzing and nitpicking, and what it comes down to is we want to actually see wrestling, and this is wrestling.
Yeah. Masaaki goes for a corner springboard jumping kick, only for Kanemoto to slap him on his way down, slamming him down to hit a moonsault for the pin. And no, Mochizuki kicks out. Koji goes for a tiger suplex, but Masaaki frees himself to deliver a spinning back kick and the Sanka Kajuri to the face, only for Kanemoto to make it back to his feet to trade hard slaps with his opponent that would knock Mochizuki down to the mat. Koji would then lock on a Boston Crab with a foot on the back of his neck for the submission and the win.
I love it. How much more can you do? This match is 10 minutes. And it's weird normally when you say, it's like, oh, that movie was only 90 minutes, but it felt like 3 hours. It's like, this match was 10 minutes, but it felt like 40, but not in a bad way.
No.
And both the wrestlers were hungry. It felt inspired. The finish was incredible, impactful, and disrespectful and nasty at the same time. Boston Crab with your head on his foot is just, really rubbing. Yeah, it's like rubbing a dog's face in its own shit. Love to see it.
So we go to our second match. Jushin Thunder Liger versus Koji Kanemoto. And this would take place on May 31st, which was day 11 of the tournament, in Osaka, at the Osaka Prefectural Gymnasium, with an attendance of 6,300 people.
Yeah, probably one of the bigger shows that they did that wasn't in Tokyo.
Yep. And the last time we saw Liger was at Wrestling World 99, episode 340. And at this point in the tournament, Koji was in the lead of Block A with 6 points, with Jushin just being behind at 4.
Is Jushin still booking it this time? We assume so, right?
Probably. I don't really know.
Yeah.
And as we join the action, because we do kind of come in about probably halfway into the match.
Yeah. It's in progress. Jushin, I believe, is dashing across the ring as we start this.
Kanemoto would be attacked on the apron, knocking him down to the floor before Liger flies over the ropes with a plancha onto his opponent, running him into the railing and nailing a brainbuster on the concrete. The two would fight at the apron, with Koji finally making it inside, only for Jushin to hit several show ties, until Kanemoto slides under one to take Liger down and apply an ankle lock, forcing Jushin to crawl his way to the ropes. And Koji keeps up the attack with a body slam and goes for a moonsault, but he sees his opponent move, so Kanemoto lands on his feet, only to receive more show ties and a Liger bomb for a 2 count. Now back to their feet, Koji responds with an overhead belly-to-belly and a cross knee bar, again forcing Jushin to crawl to the ropes to break the hold. Kanemoto stomps away on the bad knee, only for Liger to reverse a whip and charge in with another show tie, followed by a brainbuster and a running Liger bomb for the pin. And no, Koji kicks out.
Crowd's hot as hell.
The two trade headbutts while on their knees.
All fours, like my boy, Junkyard Dog.
With Jushin getting the better of the exchange to make his way to the top rope. But Kanemoto avoids the diving headbutt. Koji delivers stiff kicks and a body slam. Heads up top for a moonsault that lands for a near fall, before another ankle lock with Liger again making the ropes.
Yeah, but he's digging in deep. Standing ankle lock. He's not even on the mat. He's pulling it up, digging it down.
Kanemoto taunts his opponent, followed by going up the turnbuckle, only for Jushin to hit a double axe handle to his back, climbing up to meet him for a super belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah, Kanemoto thought he was going to get that second moonsault, but JL was up quick. Followed him right up.
Liger then delivers a running show tie and an ankle lock, adding a body scissors to add the extra pressure for the submission and the win.
Great shit, and it makes sense. Koji's got the lead. Liger is the elder statesman, but only by a couple years, and the gold standard of this division. And it only makes their block more interesting because now they're tied up.
So we go to our third match. Shinjiro Ohtani versus Minoru Tanaka. And this would also take place on May 31st, day 11 of the tournament. And the last time we saw Ohtani was at Wrestling World 99, episode 340. And in this one, Shinjiro had the lead in Block B with 6 points, while Minoru was struggling to stay relevant with only 2 points so far. And as we join the match, Ohtani already has Tanaka in a half crab, but Minoru reverses it into a leg bar, which causes Shinjiro to grab the ropes. And both men continue to exchange leg locks and using the ropes to escape, with Tanaka rolling out to regroup, only for Ohtani to attack as he enters with strikes, chokes, and boot washes in a corner.
You know he loves to wash that boot.
Shinjiro asks the crowd if they want one more, but Minoru makes it to his feet to avoid, nailing a spinning heel kick, and goes for a suplex of his opponent out of the ring, only for Ohtani to float over to the apron to lock on a sleeper, with the ref forcing a break as they're in the ropes. Tanaka with multiple kicks to knock Shinjiro off to the floor, followed by attempting a plancha, which Ohtani just sidesteps, taking the opportunity to run Minoru into the railing and roll him inside. Shinjiro then goes for a springboard dropkick, but Tanaka sidesteps and delivers a bridging dragon suplex for a 2 count. Turns it into a cross arm breaker, only for Ohtani to counter into a leg bar, again forcing Minoru to crawl to the ropes.
It's funny that it seems like Minoru is obviously an underdog because he only got 2 points 11 days into the tournament, but the crowd is chanting for him in Osaka. So,
well, it also happens that Ohtani's the heel here, definitely.
Yeah, but maybe I just love him too much.
Yeah.
But he obviously works like a heel, but he's been around for a while.
Turnbuckle smashes and a basement dropkick before returning to the leg bar by Shinjiro, but Tanaka is able to grab the ropes. Minoru then reverses a whip and hits a dropkick for a near fall, turns it into a cross arm breaker again, only to release to go for a suplex, but Ohtani reverses it into a dragon suplex.
Oof.
And Shinjiro heads back to the apron for a springboard dropkick to the back of Tanaka's head, followed by a sit-out powerbomb for the pin. And no, Minoru kicks out.
It's going crazy. This is great. This is why I like wrestling. These are the things that I want to see and I don't see enough, even in Japan at this point.
Shinjiro picks up his opponent for another dragon suplex, only for Tanaka to roll through into a cross armbar, causing Ohtani to struggle his way to the ropes. And both men exchange slaps, with Shinjiro getting the better of it, leading to Minoru fighting his way free from suplex attempts and nailing a spinning back kick, before taking Ohtani down with the Minoru special for the submission and the win.
Crowd goes nuts. Beautiful match. How do you get down on an underdog? The crowd was behind him. I've seen him before, but not like I've seen Ohtani, and I thought he met the assignment.
Yeah.
And his win meant more than the 2 previous we've seen because of it. So wrestling's supposed to build, not just exist.
So the last few days of the tournament would see Kanemoto win his next match, while Liger would lose his final, sending Koji to the finals from Block A. Yet over in Block B, Shinjiro would fight to a time limit draw to only gain 1 more point in his final match, while Kendo Kashin would defeat Dr. Wagner Jr. to overtake him in points and head to the final.
Damn. I wonder who Ohtani's about to have a bitchin' singles match with from that time limit draw.
I don't remember.
You don't have to look it up. I'm just saying that that's very good booking. Was my point.
Yeah. So we go to our 4th match. Kendo Kashin versus Koji Kanemoto in the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors 6.
And it's so nice sometimes because find these matches and it's like, oh, it's starting halfway through or whatever, but you get a better quality and a full intro.
So this would take place on June 8th, day 17 of the tournament, in Tokyo at the Nippon Budokan with an attendance of 13,600.
Damn.
And our competitors feel each other out with kicks and arm locks to begin, when Kashin back body drops his opponent. But Koji fights back with knees, a roundhouse kick, and an attempted suplex, only for Kendo to block. Kanemoto applies an ankle lock, which gets reversed into one by Kashin.
Ankle to ankle.
Until they roll to the ropes. More exchange strikes when Kendo takes his opponent down into a chin lock, which Koji escapes with a kick and continues to deliver more, before going to a leg bar, but Kashin turns it over into a sharpshooter momentarily. And back to their feet, Kendo asks for a handshake, only for Kanemoto to nail a drop kick in response, stomping away and followed by exchange chops and uppercuts. Koji places his opponent in a tree of woe to kick away, before a body slam and a corkscrew senton. Kanemoto then sends Kashin to the ropes, who then slides under Koji to double axe handle the dick, taking advantage of strikes and a snapmare, but Kanemoto bridges up to hit several kicks to take down his opponent.
The snap and then bridge immediately up. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
That was really cool.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I don't think I've ever seen that before, and that's crazy because this was 1999. What are they doing out there? This wasn't even a dangerous one.
Another body slam, and Koji heads up top for a moonsault, only to see Kendo move, so he lands on his feet. But Kashin's right there to nail a belly-to-belly suplex and a running clothesline for a 2 count. Kanemoto is suplexed over the ropes to the floor, with Kendo following out to look for an equipment case under the ring, smashing it across Koji's head and running him into the apron. Now back inside, Kanemoto catches Kashin with an overhead belly-to-belly, delivering stiff kicks and a bridging tiger suplex for a near fall, before hitting a sit-out suplex slam for a 2 count. A Boston Crab's locked on, forcing Kendo to crawl to the ropes to make the break, only for Koji to attempt to put it on again. But Kashin powers out to roll up his opponent for the pin, and no, Kanemoto kicks out. And Kendo's taken down, followed by Koji going to the top, flying off with a moonsault, only to celebrate momentarily, allowing Kashin to lock in a crucifix armbar, with Kanemoto just barely getting a foot on the ropes.
Selling.
Kendo stomps away and works the arm, followed by placing Koji on the turnbuckles and leaping up to roll through into another crucifix armbar for the submission and the win. Post-match, Kashin won't let go, so the other Best of Super Junior competitors, such as Liger and Ohtani, jump in to break it up. And that's our show.
Yeah, the heel wins, but not with pure cheating. It's very light.
Yeah.
It's kind of reciprocated, an eye poke here or there. And that's one of the most interesting things that a heel can do is be just as good as the face, but resort to cheating tactics. But not overtly, where they're just like hitting him in the head with an anvil. Where it's like, I just am insecure enough to do a couple of cheap things. But if all things were equal, they still have the ability to beat them. And we don't get that kind of subtlety in American wrestling.
Yeah. So I ask you, Michael, what are your overall thoughts of Best of the Super Junior 6?
I mean, would have liked to see more. New Japan is all I really want to see. I mean, I guess that's not necessarily true, but this quality of Japanese wrestling, I don't care what country it comes from or what promotion it comes from, but the intelligence, ability, and understanding of how to perform wrestling as a sport and get the crowd into it. Mm-hmm. I don't need Ryan Shamrock. It's fun and funny and interesting to talk about years later as like a snapshot of a thing in the past, but stuff like this, like these 4 matches we covered, they stand the test of time when you talk about like quality wrestling entertainment.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, but the storyline was gross or sexist or stupid. It's like, no, the storyline is this guy needs to beat this guy.
Yeah.
And one of them is willing to cheat, and one isn't, and the dance of it all. This is the thing that brings me back down to like a zen place where I'm like, I do like wrestling. Oh yeah, this is what it can be. This is why I like it.
Yeah. I do think that this version of the BOSJ isn't as good as previous years. And you know, I can only go off the quality of the 4 matches that we watched. Because you can see a bit of a shift from the high flying to more of a holds-based action.
I think I liked that more.
Which, to some people, it's fine.
I find it more dramatic.
But in the end,
yeah,
I'm always down for more New Japan Pro Wrestling. Because,
absolutely,
like we've said multiple times, this is what we want to watch.
This is where our bread is buttered.
Like,
with a match matters.
We watched Raws the last 2 weeks. They're fine.
There was a really good one.
They're entertaining, but I want to watch wrestling for wrestling.
I want wrestling to be treated as a sport, even if we know it's a work.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm interested in. And I know that a lot of people would be like, well, that's stupid. We all know that it's a work. And to that I would say, well, when it doesn't feel like a work and it feels like a sport is when I find it the most exciting. Because when everybody's playing, when there's a guy playing a pimp surrounded by hoes, I know the match doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But when 2 guys come out in black trunks and look like they're...
And they just want to kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah, and rip each other's ankles off or break the other guy's arm, and they do an incredible job of making that look like it's a possibility. That's when my brain turns on, as opposed to just letting it filter through.
Yeah.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right. Fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of your best moments from this show?
I mean, I talked about that bridge up. There was a whip and a slide. I can't remember what match it was.
I thought it was the first one.
It was hard to pick even a favorite match for me because I liked all of them so much and was so just locked in.
I mean, I'll tell you right now that I think the final was probably my least favorite.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. I think it was very good.
It was good, but like, actually, I almost feel like the first match had the most. I don't know if stakes is the word because obviously other matches had
more stakes.
But like the intensity of
I would say
was a little bit higher.
The first and the third were my favorites, for sure.
And that's kind of insane to think that a Liger match isn't my favorite match on a show that I watch.
But Liger is also never won. Like, he proved himself early and then never had to prove himself.
Yeah.
So he was just a vessel for like allowing wrestlers to prove themselves and get over, which is why we love him so much. It's not because he there's a big difference between Liger and Okada or Omega or these guys that like
that third match there was that sequence where, because Ohtani's known for the springboard dropkick. And Tanaka literally just kind of like sidesteps it. Yeah. Goes for the dragon suplex. And once he gets the 2 count, Ohtani's like put his arm up to kick out. And literally Tanaka just grabs the arm, goes straight to the arm bar, which Ohtani then counters into the leg bar because that's his move.
That's the shit that I love.
Yeah.
Where it's like in these earlier editions of Best of the Super Juniors, it would be a lot of like you knock the guy down and you quickly go to the top and leap off, and that's where the thing is. But I think that the quick excitement of like turning like, oh, you almost got pinned into like you're about to win with a arm bar because you've been working it is more exciting, and like I get a jolt from it.
So earlier, in my overall thoughts, I was like, it's a little bit of a transition from the high flying to the holds.
It is.
Like, I'm not complaining about that. I think my thing is that since these are juniors,
Yeah.
I think there should be probably a little bit more of the high-flying stuff.
Well,
Like, you can have... There's 12 wrestlers in this tournament.
yeah.
Like, if there's, like, 4 of the guys are more ground-based guys, and then the other 8 are high flyers, like, because you do have to have a mix of styles. I think in my head, I know that, like, the main guys in the heavyweight scene in New Japan are all holds-based guys right now. So it just feels like if we're moving more from the high-flying to holds-based, that there's just not as much variety.
Yeah, what's funny is that this is 1999 in Japan, and this looks more like where the heavyweight scene goes in the future. And I think this is kind of like the best of both worlds to my taste.
And obviously we saw Koji 3 times.
Yeah.
On this show. So, like, he has one style. Tanaka is he's
underdog babyface.
He's an underdog babyface, but he's
great.
Holds-based guy.
Yeah.
Mochizuki, holds-based. I mean Mochizuki probably was the least holds-based because he did more, like, kick stuff. Because, like, literally his Sankaku Jiri to the face and his Sensaku high kick are, like, his 2, like, big moves that he hits during the match.
Then we had the moonsault.
Yeah, I mean, and Koji does the moonsault and everything. Yeah. So, I mean, there is high flying.
Yeah, it's not as extreme.
I just would have liked a little bit more variety in the matches.
Yeah. I can see that, and there may have been more throughout the tournament.
Exactly. That's what I was kind of saying.
We're basing it on the.
We're basing it on 4 matches that we saw.
Yeah.
So it's a very wide berth. But once again, I love the show. I loved watching these 4 matches.
I love the 4 matches we got to see. But it's one of those things with all of these tournaments where it's like, oh, we found 6, we found 8. This time we found 4.
Yeah.
Were they great? All of them were great. Would we have liked to see more? Absolutely.
I don't think there was anything disappointing. I mean, I've kind of already, like, my one complaint is
the lack of variety.
The lack of variety. That's really my only complaint about this show.
Yeah, and there probably was.
Yeah.
El Samurai was probably doing some sloppy shit off the top.
Probably. Best performer? I mean, is it Koji since we saw him 3 times? I mean, you really liked Tanaka?
I thought he was really fun. I think
Kendo
was great. He makes the last match more interesting.
See, I think he was, to me, he was the most boring.
Really?
I mean, other than the crucifix arm bars that he does, which is a cool thing to, like, basically take a guy and, like, roll him through in midair into the arm bar.
I think he had. Other than that, for a guy with a mask, he exudes a lot of attitude and presence.
I mean, I can see that. Yeah.
I guess that's where I'm coming from. But, like, I'm a huge Ohtani stan.
Yeah.
And I can't say he's the best because Ohtani just Ohtani'd, and we love to see it.
See, I like Tanaka a lot in that match.
Tanaka was great, but he also had Ohtani, he was the underdog babyface, and he had the biggest shithead heel above him, and I think that was maybe my favorite match because of the juxtaposition of the two, where it's like the young guy trying to prove himself and the old dickhead guy, and just the way that they interacted together, I thought brought the most excitement. And Minoru won that match, which also made it beautiful as opposed to good. But we only saw 3 Kanemoto, and did he fuck up?
No.
So he gets it.
Yeah.
If we got to see the whole tournament, maybe it'd be different, but you can only grade on what you saw.
And anything surprising on the show? I don't know if there was. I mean, I guess maybe
the surprising thing, I guess,
Tanaka beating Ohtani.
Yeah, that was a surprise, and then also that this Tanaka guy in his purple shorts was fun. And I know we've probably seen him before, but he wasn't memorable in the past.
We hadn't seen
him.
Minoru Tanaka before.
Okay.
I do think, if I'm not mistaken, we will see him
in the future.
Yeah. He sticks around. Yeah. He sticks around, becomes a big part of the junior heavyweight scene for the next 10 years-ish.
I mean, hopefully he continues on the path that they allowed for him, because they let him beat Ohtani in a match that got me going and that crowd at the time. But most of the time, your opponent's not going to be
Shinjiro Ohtani.
Yeah. So best of luck to him. More happy to see more from him. And Kanemoto can't just win everything, so it was Kashin's turn.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Turn the lights down, turn the projectors on, because we're ready to rumble. This week we're covering Bomber's Moon. It was released August 6th, 1943 by 20th Century Fox. It was directed by Edward Ludwig and Harold D. Schuster, while being written by Kenneth Gamet and Aubrey Wisberg. It would star George Montgomery, Annabella, and Kent Taylor. The plot of this one is, it's an American pilot swears to get revenge on the German ace who shot his brother in this war movie set in war-torn Europe. Montgomery is the pilot, and after he sees his brother die while trying to parachute to safety, Montgomery's plane is shot down over Germany. He's placed in a POW camp, where he meets a Russian medic and a Czech, where together the trio escapes.
Sounds like another pro-commie movie.
I mean, it's more about...
I know. I was making a joke.
Oh,
he was
okay.
Russian. He meets a Russian and Czechoslovakian to escape after
Sounds like
being
a bad
shot
joke.
down by Nazis. Yeah, that too.
Trivia for this one, the bombing raid footage was lifted from the film A Yank in the RAF from 1941. And this would be Montgomery's last film for 3 years, as he would enlist in the Army Air Corps. Some reviews and ratings for this one. IMDb has it at a 6.3, while Letterboxd at a 2.2. And I found this review from TS in the New York Times from 1943.
Mr. Elliott?
Possibly.
I doubt it.
Ordinarily might be quite acceptable as a routine, synthetic melodrama. Revealed all too clearly as the second-rate Hollywood shoddy that it is.
Brutal.
Right?
So both those brutal. Synthetic melodrama is the way I feel about so many things.
My review is I thought it was a fun film with some suspense as our leads have to escape a Nazi prison, which leads into a romance and a double cross. Best part was they actually set up the last 10 minutes of the film in the first 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Payoff!
You know, screenwriting 101.
And our wrestler of the film was Mike Masaaki.
Who would have guessed? Who could have possibly guessed?
And this is our 12th time talking about him. He played Kurt. But as I was watching, there was never anybody named Kurt, nor anyone that looked like Mike Masaaki. So I started looking and found out that his scenes were deleted from the film.
You know what I find more impressive? Is that anybody knew that. That anybody could have... Was he like in the actual credits of the film?
No.
Or how did anybody know that? Because it's from 43.
Yeah.
From 43, like deleted scenes. They just like threw those away, right?
Someone that
How did anybody have any clue?
I found it on a Mike Masaaki
fan
page of some sort.
A Mike Masaaki GeoCities site that just had photos of his paychecks.
Yeah.
And he just got paid to be in this movie for a day. That's incredible and hilarious.
Yeah. But I had fun with this film. I gave it a 3.5.
Damn.
Wrestler performance of not applicable because he was cut from the film.
Wasn't it?
And so, yeah. If this sounds interesting at all, you can find it out there on YouTube. Go check it out.
Yeah.
See if you could find Mike Masaaki.
It's really funny as we're doing like a chronological wrestling podcast. We're getting to the point where we're in the show with covering movies that wrestlers were in that nobody knows the name of, for the most part. And any young people, like, they don't even watch movies anymore. To them, like, Goodfellas is old. Where it's like, oh yeah, you should watch Taxi Driver. And it's like, that was from the 70s. Are you crazy? And I'm like, well, that's when all good movies were made, was in the 1970s. So, yeah. But I hope, if any of you have gone back and watched any of these movies, that Matt has been...
We're farther away from the 1970s than the 1970s were to the 1940s.
I believe it, and it's fine, but it's just a technology difference is the main thing.
Yeah.
But, and that's why I bring it up now, but if you're listening to this show and you've gone back and watched any of these movies, or even remember seeing them on a Sunday morning, because that's when black and white movies played when I was a little kid, yeah. And I changed the channel because they were in black and white, but I learned my lesson.
But also think, like, this one's on YouTube. How many of these movies probably could you have found 20 years ago?
Yeah, it'd be much more difficult. Also, YouTube 5 or 6 years ago was a better, more interesting platform when people could actually show clips and talk about things without being struck down.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Next week, Great American Bash 1999.
In probably the biggest home of the Great American Bash.
Yeah, they've been there a few times, Baltimore. But the music from this week's show is The Score by Emerson, Lake, and Powell. And Kendo Kashin won our main event. So we play Skywalk by NJP Unit. And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there, rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcast at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars. If you're not going to do it for a Best of the Super Juniors, are you ever going to do it?
Maybe not. But if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, like we said, we're going to Baltimore, so maybe hit us up with some recipes.
Or crab chips.
Yeah, possibly.
That's a thing. Crab fries. I don't know. Crabs.
But you can send that to our email at WrestlingHistoryX@gmail.com or find us on X at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.